Welcome to TAG! Today we're going to be painting all this. And we're putting it down here. And I'm down here because it's dry and not humid. It's hot as the dickens outside. So we'll start down here and we got the most boring parts of all. Scratching. How pretty wash. Look at that right there.
Whoa!
Tag, you're in. Righto. Alright here. So, now that we have our bumper, hood, and mud flaps and everything else down here, it's time we get our materials for painting. First thing you need, the face mask, with a carbon filter in it, some Scotch-Brite pad, some sticky cloth pad, then some primer, and then we have some base coat. I have a metallic sort of base coat, because I'm going with a metallic purple. And then we're going to go with some metal clear coat, to give that metallic purple a little... Some optional extras, paint sprayer, and some lacquer thinner for that paint sprayer, as well as a little air hose to, clean everything off, use less sticky pads. I have a compressor, that's why I'm using the paint sprayer and that air hose. And the only reason I'm not using this for everything is because you have to do all this very fast. I've learned in the past, if you don't go base coat, this coat, then the clear coat really quickly, you, it just doesn't stick, and switching all my fluids from that is just going to take too long, so. Right. So now we got all of our bumper and stuff down here. Now I'm going to use these Scotch pads because I've tried other methods of painting cars and some are successful, but I've learned if you're going to sand everything down, you really have to go all out. And I'm not going all out because it's a 30-year-old car, 2 years younger than me, so it's 27 years old. And it's just my everyday car. And I love that car, but I ruined it a little bit, and who knows how long it'll last. Let's start scratching. I'm going to start with the hood here because it's already lost most of its clear coat. It has rust spots, so we're going to have to use a little primer. A friend of mine who works on planes told me that you don't have to scratch it up really good. You just have to scratch it up good enough. Right, so you can see a little difference here from both of these. You can see that this is not just scratched in, this is more scratched. But you don't need a lot. I'm told that you just do a little bit, enough to get all the grime stuff off and take a lot of stuff off. And he told me that if I do this, just get enough dust on there, that this should hold color. I've also cleaned these off mostly. Should probably take off the squirter tabs. Oh wait, it doesn't matter. My squirters don't work. Oh, that sounds terrible. Oh, edit that out. You can see right here, I've got a rusty spot. A few rusty spots right here. So, primer for those. The rest of it, you can see on the Scotch pad here, I've got a nice red tinge. Now, this metal hood is going to be the worst because it's the biggest, for one thing, and also it's metal. Plastic adheres to paint much better than this does. We've got plenty of dust there. I think that's probably good enough, and we shall move to the bumper. Now the bumper, there's lots of crevices and stuff in here, so we're gonna have to get those crevices too. Anything noticeable. Now normally I would say try to save these plastic parts here that are different colored, like the grey, but I don't care. Hey, these plastic bits actually come off. Well, look at that. They just clip right off. Oh, take them all off then. It wasn't for the fact that I wanted to save the manuals. Save the manuals. Hashtag save the manuals. I wouldn't be doing this. There's not many manuals. So what do I really need? Time for a frosty beverage. Right. I got frosty beverage. Back to work. Right. I found the best way to do something is do it the easiest way. So I've been, sitting here, relaxing, sanding down the mud flaps. Yeah, they're difficult. Let's do an entire scratch pad just for 3 mud flaps. Yes, only 3. I lost the 4th when I fudged my car up. And it took so long, I even grabbed myself another frosty beverage. Another frosty mug. Quite enjoyable. Now, I'm going to do this one a little bit more than the hood and everything else because when Toyota did the paint on the 1992 Toyota Celica, they did a fantastic job on the body and this rear spoiler. Not so much on the hoods. I mean, I've gone through many hoods. That hood right there is my 3rd. So yeah, so technically it's the 4th hood. I've been through 3. White, black, and now this one. But either way, the paint job on this is just fantastic. It's a shame to scratch it up, but I want to try a purple color with this. So you really got to scratch in there because it just does not come off. That's why I got a fresh scratch pad. Save the manuals. It's not a completely functional spoiler. Supposedly it gives aerodynamics and flow, not exactly downforce, but it looks nice. I've seen it without the spoilers, it looked terrible. Right, so we're all scratched up. Now we get to do some air hose fun. So, I'm done scratching, and now I'm going to do an optional step, but I think it helps out because sticky pads remove everything, but sticky pads cost money. So you take some nice warm water, no soap. I was told very specifically by an aircraft mechanic, don't use soap, it'll stop the adhesion of paint. So, just some rags, warm water, and just give it a quick wipe off. So now that I've taken a little wet washcloth and washed everything down a little bit, still a lot of powder. But you can use sticky pads. These sticky pads are amazing. Open these up. If you don't like stickiness, wear gloves. We open up these sticky pads and we sticky them. So all that fine powdery paint dust is all gone. They're really cheap, but I do try to do everything I can, like wash off, air it off, everything else to help reduce my cost. See the sticky pad? Got a little bit of red on it. It's a red sticky pad now, nice and red. So it worked. But we have a lot of sticky pad room here, so let's move down to our white one, shall we? Down here, we'll do the same thing with this. Working pretty well. And the plastic isn't quite as big a deal because the plastic seems to enjoy being painted. If anyone knows there's a better way to do the sticky pads than what I'm doing, leave a comment below. Leave a comment below. Leave a comment below. Right, now that we've sticky pad and scratch pad and cleaned and all that and everything's all nice and paint dust free, let's change into our painting clothes. Oh, what? You're over there. Oh, I got everything on. We're gonna start painting. No, I got everything on. We're gonna start painting. So we got about 10 to 15 minutes between coats, so it's really fast. So I can't talk much. We're just gonna move. Let's go. Primer first. Now we have base coat. Bloody uncomfortable on this thing. Right, now we're going to do the hood because the primer's dried. base coat. My girlfriend's getting more. I have to do the color coat on that while I can. Those are fun. It's time for the color. Right, now it's time for the clear coat, and I'm using the compressor for this one, so it'll go a lot faster. Make sure you shake out the fluid. Right. In a little bit, I'm going to put the second coat, and I have a lot left here, so I'm going to be a little more thicker on it. I gotta put it. So, that's possible. Okay, next clear coat. Last clear coat. We're gonna do it real thick because I didn't use much. I'll just go. Some bitch. Oh, Jesus, it's going wrong. Right, last clear coat. We're gonna do it real thick because I guess we didn't use very much. So thick, thick. Let's let her dry! Right, last thing we have is the lacquer thinner and the paint sprayer. Now, it's very toxic stuff, more toxic than paint. So you need to spray it away from yourself, and wear safety glasses and your mask, and you just kind of shake around your paint thing to get all the paint out. So, right. Right, I'm not taking this off because I only have the fan and the windows to vent, and I just sprayed this. So, you have to properly dispose of the lacquer thinner. Make sure you properly dispose of it, don't just put it down the drain. Right. Right. Now that we finally finished painting it on, I put most of it on except for the mud flaps because I only have 3 and I need more. It looks stupid with just 3 on. You can see how it is not perfect. We have a little bleeding here and some here, little spots there, and the hood itself did have issues. It's just end here, but I'll take your little tool around and just show you all of its minor imperfections. By minor, I mean major. Let's take a look. So you can see here there's plenty of bleeding right there, and right there, and oh, over here is especially bad, right there. Not sure what happened there, but you can see up here it's not perfect. It's got a wave to it. Then I forgot to paint right there, so it's all red right there. Yes. And oddly, for some reason, the spoiler it turned out a lighter color purple, but it is quite pretty. If we look around this side of the car, you can see that the car looks like pretty good condition, except for that right there. But then when you go on this side, I'll show you. It's pretty beat up, and you're wondering why is the car on stilts? I'm putting a new transmission in. So clearly this car isn't beautiful, and it's not meant to be beautiful. It's meant to be a fun car. Just fun that you would roam around and beat up slightly. Something that you care for, but you don't necessarily care so much about. Like, if it were to hit something, you'd be like, meh. But at the same time, if the engine internal started problems, you're like, oh no! I don't want it to die! It's like that. And the nice thing about having these dents and stuff in the road, and this being held in literally by wire, is you are a god on the road. See, here in Wisconsin, there's no requirements to have your car checked, at least where I live, for emissions or structural damage or anything like that. So you can drive in whatever rust bucket you want. And when you do, no one will touch you, no one will get in front of you, and no one will bother you. It's a beautiful thing. And this is not the best paint job, I agree, but it is a beautiful thing for a car enthusiast. Anyone who is a car enthusiast would be like, man, it's not so bad. Kind of botched the paint job though, and I'd be like, yes, I did. But look at it! There's no way I'd lose this in a parking lot. No matter what. You couldn't. Unless there are two large SUVs in the sides and one large one in the front. There's no way you can miss it. And that's the beauty of this. I'll never miss this. And once I have the transmission, because the car is on stilts and I have to replace the transmission because I broke one and the other one doesn't have fifth or second. But a beautiful car nonetheless for being a beat up POS. I'm Shane and tag, you're it.